welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Feel free to subscribe or not. Honestly, I don't care. It's fine. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're bundled up. It's fucking cold. At least where I'm at, it's really fucking cold. So yeah, I hope you're bundled up and I hope you're safe wherever you're at. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I am doing well and I am staying warm. I'm so fucking cold. I'm staying warm. I had a black big jacket on. Here's a picture of me earlier today. But I had to take it off because I've been sawing antlers and making hair picks out of them. You can't leave me alone for too long because I'm gonna fall into something and be a completely different person than the person I was whenever I first left you. Yeah. So yeah, I've been making hair picks. And so you take them and you put them in your hair, and they're antlers. Well, they're made out of antlers, but they're not just antlers. You could wear them whenever. So yeah, anyways, yeah. So what happened was, y'all, I have got to stop drinking. She has had a couple of glasses of wine, and now she needs to stop drinking. I do, because here's what happened. I had a couple of glasses of wine, and I ordered fox teeth, a bunch of taxidermy items, which I'm about to list off. So if you're not interested in taxidermy stuff or animal bones or animal parts, you can just kind of shut this video off. I'm also going to be talking about like women's reproductive issues. So if you don't want to hear about taxidermy, dead animal bones, or female reproductive organs, I suppose right now would probably be a good time for you to shut the video off. But yeah, see ya. And if you stay around, okay, come closer. So I had a couple of drinks and I was like, you know what's a good idea? Ordering taxidermy or animal parts. So I ordered a gray wolf leg bone. I ordered fox teeth and fox claws. Red fox teeth and claws, gray fox jawbones, deer jawbones, a gray wolf's leg bone. And then, okay, so that was just like while I was drunk. Because remember last time I was drunk? Do you remember what happened last time I was drunk? I drunk ordered books. Well, they're gonna be here today. So then I drank again, and then I ordered a bunch of taxidermy parts. And I had to go, and so what happened was I was like piecing together what I was doing, and so I went onto my Facebook and I was like, and like, you know, looking up what I was doing while I was drunk. And around 11 p.m. the night I was drunk, I ordered a bunch of animal bones, and I said that on my Facebook. I was like, oh, it's 11 p.m. and I'm absolutely drunk ordering animal bones from obscure sources online. Life is good. Anyways, so then I was like, oh man, I gotta wait because they're coming into the mail. And so I was like, whatever, right? So I go to the mall the next day and I was just farting around. There's a new antique store. There's a new antique store in the mall. And so I was very, very excited to go by myself without the kids, or like we had some relatives hanging out with us. And so we went with kids and relatives. And so it was like, you know, like when you go shopping with other people, it's like a commotion, a combobbled clusterfuck of words and actions and hee-haw and things and reactions and stuff like that. And so it's very, very frustrating to go antiquing with like a group of, well, a pack of boys. Let's be honest, Ace was a pack of dudes. my family, I'm the only girl in my family that's alive. And so yeah, sorry, I didn't put this one in that well. There we go. There we go. Let's get her in there. Real good, real nice and sturdy. I'm very proud of myself. I always wanted hair picks that were made out of antlers, and then I did it myself. My husband showed me how to use his very, very powerful tools in his forge, and I cut myself and I nicked myself and I was bleeding everywhere. So blood went into making these antlers. My blood. And it was very funny because I was like, ah, and then I was like, fuck yeah, absolutely, bitch. But then I was also confused because I was bleeding and it wasn't clotting, and I was like, oh, I must be anemic again because I'm very, very anemic, and so it fluctuates, my anemia, and I can tell if my anemia has flared up because my blood, it'll just keep bleeding. I'll just keep bleeding, and I'm just like, are you gonna like form a scab or something? Like, are you gonna form a scab or something? Like, are you gonna like do the thing? Like, blood, hi blood, are you gonna do the thing? And instead it was just like more and more, and I was like, are you gonna stop bleeding? I was like, oh my god, stop. But yeah, so anyway, so I go to the antique mall, and I told my husband that I was just going to Sally's Beauties because I needed to get some stuff. I got this X Mondo. I'm gonna try it out. So the next video that I post after this one will probably be a, you know, like, okay, my hair is blonde. Yeah, it's blonde, but I am blind. I have blonde blindness, and so I don't know how blonde it exactly is. But this is a Supernova Blonde Toning Reparative Mask by X Mondo. It is super purple. It is like a very, very pigmented. It's very, very, very pigmented, very purple. And so we're going to probably have purple fingers or gray fingers for quite some time after I put this on my head. I don't know. I'll try to make a video of me doing it. I'm gonna do it tonight. But I wanted to do it before I made this video, but I wanted to tell you guys about my day and what I've been doing, making antlers. And so I was very, very excited. So I go to the mall. After, you know, I was like telling my husband, oh, I'm gonna go into town and go to Sally's Beauty. He was like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And then I lied and I went to the mall and I was wandering around because that's kind of what I do. I kind of just clock out and like wander around certain places. And then if no one's around me and it's just me clocking out, then I just kind of allow myself to wander and go and pick up subconscious things, like subconscious cues, and me and myself are wandering by ourselves. Yes. So anyways, I'm gonna talk to you guys while I put on some makeup. I have a bag, a box. I like, it's a box. There's a mouse in my box. There's a mouse in my box. So anyways, I went to the mall, the antique store, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna sniff around. When I went there initially, it was very overpriced. Everything was very overpriced, but here it is. Here's how it goes. So this place in the mall is an antique shop, right? But they have individual sectors of the antique shop that are individual consigners. So it's like, let's say, well, Jacob is selling his wares out of this area. It's like a antique, how do you say, a flea market antique shop inside of our mall. Very confusing, many parts to it. Okay, so every item there is either in one section, all belongs to the same person, but there's a consignment thing that happens to where the person who owns Antique Mall allows you to rent out a spot in the mall. That's like $500 a month, which is kind of expensive. Okay, so, sorry. So anyways, oh, I made this necklace. It's an antler. And I drilled the hole myself. I'm so proud of myself. I love antlers. One thing about me that you probably don't know, I love bones. A dog loves the bones, bitch. I am worse than a dog. I love antlers. I love the way they feel. I love the way they look. I love the way they're grown. I love all the ridges. They're just so fucking beautiful. There's something about having antlers that they're my favorite thing in the entire universe. When it comes to animal parts, you know? Yeah, anyways. So I love antlers. Anyway, so I have a bunch of different antlers from before, but this is mine. And I sawed it off and my husband helped me and showed me, and then he made me do it myself because he was like, you gotta learn how to do it. And I ground it down to make sure it wasn't so rough and rigid, so it wasn't cutting me. I'm just very proud of myself. So anyways, I'm covered in antlers now. Getting to that. We're getting there. So I go into the antique store and I'm wandering around, okay? I find a Mrs. Buttersworth bottle, a glass bottle, and it reminds me of my mother because when my mother was little, they had glass Mrs. Buttersworth bottles, and she said when no one was looking, she'd put it on the table and she'd look at it and be like, I knew you could talk. I knew you could talk. You could talk to me. Nobody's here. You could trust me. I won't tell anybody. Just talk to me. Like, I guess in the old, like, commercials, Mrs. Buttersworth used to talk, and so she thought, yeah, whenever no one's around, the bottle comes alive and she, like, does stuff, right? So she put it, and she was interrogating Mrs. Buttersworth, and she was like, and I sat there at that table for like an hour or two, not blinking, like watching Mrs. Buttersworth to see if she would move. So anyways, I found an antique Mrs. Buttersworth jar from like the 60s or something like that. And I bought it. It was like $10. Pretty expensive for, you know, a doodad. But that was kind of like the base price was everything was $10. And then it went up dramatically. I found a Holy Bible from 1867 that was falling apart. It was an old Holy Bible. Like, it looked like something out of a fucking crazy vampire hunter flick. Like, it was just very old. And in this person's nook where I found the ancient Holy Bible, the very old Holy Bible from the 1800s, things were moving by themselves with no one touching them. And I was like, this shit is haunted. Like, this area, haunted. And they had like some strange masks and all kinds of stuff from all over the world, like Africa and like, you know, there's a lot of Asian stuff and like strange tribal masks that were like, I think made out of some kind of leather or something. Like, it wasn't the wooden ones from Africa, but it looked more like somebody had made a mask, but it almost looked like they made like a human mask out of leather, which kind of made it more creepy and eerie and stuff like that. And so I was like, that's weird. All of this, like, I was standing there looking at the Bible, and then something fell over, like, next to me, and I was just like, okay, so that don't impress me much. I was like, okay, so you're haunted at the antique mall. That don't impress me much. Like, okay. And I expected that. Honestly, if there was no ghost there, I'd be like, give me my fucking money back, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah, anyways. So, I was like, wow, this is really cool. It was like, I think it was like $75 for the antique, ancient Holy Bible from the 1800s. And it was so cool that it was leather bound. It was falling apart. It was like in Latin and all kinds of crazy shit. And I was like, that's cool. But it was just on the fucking floor. Like, on the fucking floor. And next to it was, I think, the Encyclopedia Britannica. Anyways, that's what I was more interested in, was encyclopedias, because it had all of the information on Arctic life. And I'm just such a fucking loser. I absolutely love encyclopedias. That's something I spent hours with when I was a child, just fucking rifling through old encyclopedias. Like, if I went to an older person's house when I was like 4, 5, 6, 7, I was rifling through their leather-bound books, like fucking with all of that, and because I could read. At a very young age, I could read, and I was always doing my cousin's homework and stuff. They'd come and bring me their homework, and then I would do it, and they would go to school, and they would get good grades on it, and I would be like, oh man, I'm gonna be so good once I get to school. I'm gonna be like so good because I already know, right? Anyway, I was stupid. I was stupid. School was, it's just, oh my god, it was horrible. Anyways, and then it was like really bad. Anyway, so, but whenever I was out of school, like before I went to school, you know, I was always rifling through encyclopedias, and they bought me all kinds of different books for identification, like for bugs and birds and animals. And so I was able to like identify bugs by like their Latin names and stuff like that. Like 4-year-olds wandering around like, ah, you know, and everyone's just like, girl, shut the fuck Like even now to this day, still a yapper, still yapping. Anyone ask? No, but I'm still doing it. Anyway, so yeah, I was in there looking at the encyclopedias and I was walking around and I put the Mrs. Buttersworth at the front desk. They were like, well, you could make a pile here if you want. It was a guy, so he didn't sound like that. He was like, if you want, you can make a pile here. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. So I wandered around and then I found, amongst the, there's just, it was like, I don't know the word, like just, is it called a menagerie? And there was just a whole bunch of, why is some word coming to my brain? I don't even know what the fuck that word means. Anyways, there was a lot of different things at this antique mall, all over the place, stacked up on the floor, hidden in boxes, behind things. It was just like you had to rifle. You had to know how to rifle through things to find stuff. And it was kind of fun. And some of the fun is the rifling. So I saw a pair of keys, not a pair, I'm so sorry, a set of keys, I suppose. For it was not two, it was more than two, and they were skeleton keys and like antique keys from a very long time ago, skeleton keys from old houses. And I was so happy. I just picked them up. It was just like on a chain ringlet, a bunch of different keys. I have them in my purse, but I love skeleton keys. They're really fun. I like keys too. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll get Mrs. Buttersworth, and then I'll get these keys. Let me just go. And then while I was making my way around to the front desk because I got lost, it was kind of like a labyrinth of stuff. There's just stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. So I was making my way to the front desk, and I see a fucking pile of antlers in an antique treasure chest, like a old chest, and it was just there, and I was like, holy shit, because this is exactly what I wanted. And me and my husband were talking about purchasing antlers online because he wanted to make the guards, the handles for his knives he makes. He wanted to make them out of antlers, and so I was like, well, I also want to do antler crafts. I have a couple of like things saved in my Etsy, like wish list things, like packs of antlers. Do you want to check them out? And so we checked them out. He didn't really like any of them. He was like, no, they're too small, and there's like $20 for like 3-inch pieces, and he was just like, you know. So I was like, you know, but then I saw this pile of antlers, and I was like, holy shit. And so I made my way to the front, and I said, hey, there is literally a pile of antlers in the back of your establishment, but there's no prices on any of them. How much are they? And then he told me how much they were, and it was like depending on the cuts or the how it grew is what the prices were. So anyways, I spent perhaps way too much money on antlers. And now I have like, I think, there's 4 sets of antlers, like, so 4 sets of 2, so like 8 antlers in my house. But then I've also like already hacked into some like antler sets. So yeah, so I left the mall. Like they had no bags for the antlers because they were like half of my body, and so I was just holding on to them like a kid from a candy shop, just like, ah! And everyone was kind of like looking at me like, what the fuck? And I just, my eyes, I was so like lit up like a Christmas tree. I was so happy to have my antlers finally. And I brought them home, and my husband was like, hell yeah. And I was like, hell yeah. And so we both were creative with our antlers. You know, it's just so good to have material. And it is such a beautiful material. Unfortunately, it smells like shit. When you are cutting, sanding, and drilling into antlers or bones, you're going to want to wear something to cover, like a mask or something, a respirator or something, because it smells like burning flesh, or like it smells bad. It smells very bad. And some of the antlers still had some velvet on them, the velvet from when they shed or whatever. It was really cool. It's really nice. I love it. I love antlers. I love deer, so that was very exciting. I'm excited to get the gray wolf leg piece in. And I also have a like, I have 10 crow feet that I've been turning into things over time. Um, but yeah, I'm just very, very excited. Uh, I'm excited. I'm just so excited to get everything in. I can't wait to have the fox teeth and the fox claws. They are already drilled, but my husband showed me, obviously, how to use a drill to drill through bone and antler and the drill bits that he has. And so I've just been kind of discovering for, I don't know, let's say since 2011. So what is that? Since 2011, I've been really wanting to. Oh, I've been collecting bones and making jewelry, and basically I just gave them to my friends. A lot of my friends from back then, they have pieces that I made out of like basically like junk and bones. They're kind of like little Tinkerbell pieces of jewelry that were unique and very they were very, very, very. I wasn't that very good at wire wrapping back then, but it's so cool to see whenever your friends keep things that you made them. I don't know. It's so cute to be like, you really do love me, you know. Oh, and I also bought another labradorite ring. I don't know. Can you see the flash in it? It is. It is so fucking pretty. It's really pretty. It's stainless steel. It's not silver. But yeah, that was. I have another. I have another labradorite ring. It's a baby compared to this one. This ring survived a wreck with me. And the fucking EMT people were trying to cut it off because a lot of my rings. This one got smashed. It had to be reformed, but my rings were smashed into my fingers, and they were cutting off my rings. And I came out of my slumber one time and I grabbed him and I was like, not that one. And then I went back and I was like, where am I at? Can you hold my hand? I'm scared. I was so scared. But yeah, he tried to cut this ring off and like I instinctively like I woke up out of my thing and I was like, I grabbed his arm with this fucking clip. Like he had like some cutters. I was just like, not that one. You know? Whatever. So anyways, came home, bunch of antlers. Got drunk, bunch of animal bones. Okay, that's established. Oh yeah, and then this, the Ex Mondo, Supernova. I haven't seen it, but I went to Sally's and there was someone working there, and they were how do you say? Oh god, they were like info dumping on everybody in the store about The Sopranos. My life is so weird. So they were like info dumping about The Sopranos. They were like, no, you don't understand. The Sopranos it's not just about like some mob boss, blah, blah, blah. It's about a guy going to therapy and trying to tell his therapist, like trying to fix his life, like becoming a human. And like they were like going like off on a random customer, right? And the customer's like, wow, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. And they were like not tweaking. I'm saying that sounds mean, but they were very sweet. They were a very kind person. But they were like all about The Sopranos. They were like cinematic, beautiful. Soundtrack, lovely, love it. Blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, okay, so they know a media. They know some things. Let me talk to them too. Maybe I can develop maybe we could have a nice conversation about art, you know. And then they didn't really know anything other than The Sopranos, and I was just like, I felt bad because I felt like, do you ever get like disappointed when you go to talk to someone that you think that no do you ever go to speak to somebody that you think knows your language, like you think you're on the same level because you're overhearing them being very loud about The Sopranos and how it's a cinematic masterpiece and all these things, and then you go and you're like, have you ever seen blah blah blah, and they're like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, have you ever seen that? What are you talking about? Well, do you know this producer? No, I don't know what you're talking about at all. And I'm just like, oh my god. Anyway, so basically I was like, hey, have you ever seen American Gods or Hannibal? Or like I started talking about my favorite shows, and they were like, no, but I guess I could get really fucking high and just watch it. If you come back in 2 weeks, I'll let you know about it. So anyway, I think I don't know. I was like, I guess I got disappointed. I just miss being so vulnerable and intimate with complete strangers. non-sexually. Ugh. I mean, like, having vulnerable and intimate conversations with complete strangers in person. Like, online, I can do this. I could go for hours talking about just whatever, you know? Whatever the neurons they fire, synapses of neurons and things of that nature. They go, and then I speak, and words come out of my mouth. But in person, I miss being like, and like connecting with someone, and you could see the light, the gleam, the brightness within both of you, and it's just so different. And so, anyways, I thought that I had found somebody, and I didn't, and that was very underwhelming and very depressing. But anyways, but it's so funny because I'll like watch other YouTubers who kind of just like fucking chat and hang out and whatever. And then I'll have dreams about like hanging out with them, and I'm like, bitch, I am fucking sad. I'll be like having dreams that we're at the park fucking around, like as if we were all 16 again or something. People I've never even met. Just watch their YouTube channel and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, like we're being stupid kids. And of course, whatever, right? I have no idea what I was talking about. I had to go outside and check the mail, so I'm gonna use one of these to open my mail with. They're sharp. They could be used for self-defense as well, I suppose, if it got down to it. Anyways, yeah, basically I'm just a big dum-dum. But anyways, the mail said it was here, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up my thrift books mail, I guess. Fucking mail time, bitch. Let's go ahead and use this one. Yeah. That actually worked. Wow. Wow. Let me try to open this to where you can't see my fucking address, please. Thrift Books is so cool. 20% off of Chewy.com and a $100 wine voucher to Naked Wines? What? Anyways. Aha! Strange Irish Fairy Tales for Children. Oh, I love the art. Sorry. What the heck? Hey, wait a minute. I know who that is. Wait a minute. I love this this kind of artwork. Yeah. Strange Irish Fairy Tales for Children. My son is gonna love this. My 8-year-old. He's gonna love this. Okay. Yeah, antlers, when you're cutting them, make sure you're wearing a respirator or some kind of face mask because they smell like burning flesh. It smells bad. Bone, like sawing bone, smells horrible. Horrible! Very, very bad. It smells stinky. Stinky malinky. Okay. Sorry. Another thing from Thrift Books. And then some stuff came in from Amazon, but I'm not sure about it. Does this have a packing slip? Look inside for special offers. Okay. It's a gun! It says $200 off a Factor, 50% off a DoorDash. DoorDash is so stupid expensive down here. And it's literally a bunch of rednecks rolling around in souped up trucks, like, with their kids in the back crying. Like, it is wild. It is wild. I'll never DoorDash down here again. In this city, DoorDash was, like, awesome. It was so cool. In the country, not so much. Not so much. Okay, and then we have a ratty... God, it's all ratty. Loved, very much loved. Ah! Oh my god. Oh my god. Quickly skip to the end. Drunk purchases. I'm so happy. Yay. How come everybody in like the 90s and 80s, they always took like their like back of the book pictures and they look like that? Even girls too. I have mirror mask. What? It's okay. It's very much loved. And I love it too. Okay, and then my husband ordered some things from Amazon. And then I have some stuff allegedly that came in today. I don't know. Oh, let's see. Ah, this is for winemaking. Potassium sorbate powder. It prevents mold, fungus, and the yeast from reproducing. So all the information is on the back in order to, like, you know, do the thing. Do the thing. Excellent. Fantastic. That goes on the floor. What's this? My husband buys these things all the time. Like this. Like, what is this? He buys, like, tools and sanding things I don't know about. This is, there's a stick in here that's made out of metal. There's a casting tool. Oh, that's right. He said something about ordering something to make, like, melt down brass into, what is that, an ingot? I don't know what it's called. Something of that nature. Don't get me wrong. There's a bigger one. Let's see what's in here. I don't know. Molten Masters, silicon carbide crucible. A crucible. That's what it is. He said we needed a crucible to melt or smelt down precious metals to make other things. This is bandsaw blades. What is in here? Knife making toolkit. Something for him? Anything else? No. Okay, what the fuck was I doing? What the fuck was I saying? Who the fuck am I? Okay, now we're gonna go into the segment of this show where I talk about me going to the OBGYN. And if you stuck around and you think it's gonna be like a great story, no, it's going to be probably triggering. I'm gonna talk about my past and then maybe we'll segue into like my future. Just kidding. Anyways, so it's about that time. What time, you ask? Well, if you have a uterus, I'm happy you're here. It's time for you to get a fucking check. Women's health check. Set it up. Do it. It's now time. The time is nigh for you to check out your vagina. This has been a PSA from your health fairy. No, for real, but like if you do have women's reproductive organs of any kind, even if you are, you know, whatever, do not care. If you are here, there, or anywhere, it is time for you to call somebody and set up an appointment and get a pap smear done and get everything checked out. It's time. It's time. So go do it right now. Turn this video off and stop watching me talk shit and do stupid shit and take care of your body. Because you never know, especially if you're sexually active and you have multiple partners, it is very important to get things checked out. And even if you are sexually active with just one partner, that partner could be a lying sack of shit. So that being said, it's important for you to get checked because, you know, it is something about, you know, civilization, something of that nature, you know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck Van Helsing was talking about. Anyways, so today I went to an OBGYN appointment, but it was actually just a G appointment. G unit. Okay, so anyways, I got a new doctor, and it was a girl. This is my first girl doctor. Yeah. Before it's been all men. And let me tell you this. Let me just tell you this right now, right fucking now. If you have a male OBGYN, and if you're a male OBGYN watching this, get the fuck out of here. Scram. Get out of here. Scoot. We don't want you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's a joke. A joke. So, buckle up, Buttercup. So, the OBGYNs I've had in the past when I was younger, much younger, like 16, 17, 18, 20, in my early 20s to 25, like 25 was the last time I got a real good checkup, right? Because I think this is whenever I had my last son. I don't know, something like that. 2016 was the last time I've been to the OBGYN, right? And so I needed to go. You need to go if you have female reproductive organs in your body. You need to go at least once a year. Or at least that's what is recommended. Because as we get older, there's also a chance for you to develop cysts. And, there's all kinds of things going around. Good things, bad things. Tough kids, sissy kids, kids that climb on rocks, you know what I mean? Or whatever, you know what I mean? Something like that. So, yeah, it's important for you to go get checked out. So, anyways, in the past, I've had a lot of male, old men OBGYNs, and, I've never had a female. It was always very uncomfortable. I mean, they had the metal, and so it was very uncomfortable and long and painful. So my personal experience is that they use metal, the metals, I forgot the word for the thing, the metal, and then they there was a time where they just had me chilling with it open, and it's just very, very upsetting. And to have gone through all of these strange experiences when I was younger, and then now that I'm older and I have a voice, my throat chakra is completely unblocked, and I have an attitude and I have a mouth. Now I know what it's like to have a good gynecologist take a peek under the hood, and number one, they use plastic disposable, whatever the tool is for the ladies' parts, right? She was 100% clear and 100% effective and efficient and fast, and communicated when something was about to happen. I felt so taken care of. She was like, I'm going to do this now. Can you do this? Very clear. No, it was not weird at all. And before, with the male OBGYNs, you could see the tension between the nurses and the doctor. It was so prevalent. It was so disgusting. And the ladies hated their jobs. They hated working there. There was times where I was just propped open. And you're not supposed to have your lady parts propped open with a fucking tool for things to get in. There's a reason why it's closed. You're not supposed to allow just the fucking fresh air to just you're supposed to let it air out. You're not supposed to do that. That's not how it is meant to be down there. So what the fuck? Yeah, but when I was younger, they were just so rude. They'd leave it in too long, and they would just go walk off and do other things and come back. I don't know. They were just so fucking rude and so fucking disrespectful, and it was painful. It was extraordinarily painful, and they always pressed me with, you're young, you need to be on birth control, and the government will provide you with birth control for free right now. That lasts about 3 to 5 years, and it was always an IUD, which are excruciatingly painful to insert. And they say, oh, well, you don't have to remove this for 3 to 5 years, sometimes 7 to 11, depending on if you get this kind of, that kind of, blah, 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 right? But it costs money to remove the IUD. The insert into your uterus, and it's extraordinarily painful. And it's bullshit, and it causes you to have hormonal upsets that they don't warn you about at all. They just, when you're young, they force it kind of on you, and that's what one of my OBGYNs did. He forced it on me. He was like, you're young, you don't need another child right now. Do you really think you could handle another child right now? Do you really think that you're going to be a good mom? Do you really, like, he told me all this crazy shit that was so, like, first of all, suck a dick. Second of all, suck two. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck do you think you are telling anybody anything? It's just, yeah, I was young when I had a child, and no, of course, you're never going to be financially stable. If you want to have a child, you will never be financially stable. And a lot of these assholes on the internet will comment on younger people's, like, when they have, like, photos or family stuff, and they're young, and they're like, oh, brand new parents, we're teenagers, blah, blah, blah. I was a teenage parent. Okay, Teen Mom was huge when I was growing up. A lot of my fucking friends who were teenagers who got pregnant, they were watching Teen Mom too, and Jersey Shore. Okay, and so it was just my generation, like the 32s bitches. The bitches in our 30s right now, a lot of us country kids had children very quick because there was not much for people to do in the country. But for me and my husband, we wanted to have a family, and we wanted to do our own thing. We were so done with our families individually, and so yeah. But I had a very rough and aggravating OBGYN. They were rough with me. They were, I mean, I was like 17, and this dude was using, they have different sizes, and he was using one far too big, and it's just now that I have had a good experience that was effective, efficient, and like quick, and like completely painless to an extent. Yeah, fuck that guy. What an asshole. It makes me want to find him and knock his fucking front teeth out. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you ever have like a bad doctor's visit, and then you don't know it's a bad doctor's visit until you have a good doctor's visit, and then you're like, I might hunt that bitch down and just give him the old, you know what I'm saying? Like, but then I had another OBGYN, and it was the first one with my first son. It was he was weird. He was weird, and it made me uncomfortable, but I was 17. What the fuck did I know? My parents were not, you know, my husband's mother and my mother, they were not the most brightest crayons in the box. They had grew up in the 60s and 70s. And so they were kind of like two girls, just like, they were not educated. They didn't know. They were just kind of winging it too. So, you know what I mean? Like, ugh. So I didn't really have anybody to lean on to for strength or support or even mercy. And so I had to just develop those pillars of strength and mercy within myself, and go and kind of be a man, and like go to the OBGYN, be a man, go to the OBGYN. Shut up, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, it's just, I don't know. Let me be clear. No. Be a man. Go to the OBGYN. 2025. Oh my god. Anyways. I was like floored because this girl who is my OBGYN now, we were talking, we were hanging out, it was like two gal pals, like just as cool as we are right now, me and my subscribers. It was as cool as she was with me. She was just totally chill about it. She was like, whatever. And at the end of it, we were talking about stuff. Well, you know, I'm depressed. Am I though? Like, for real, I'm asking you guys, what are you guys? All right, what are thoughts, questions, feelings? What do you guys think? Do you think I'm depressed or what? You know what I'm saying? I think I just had like a very rough life and a really bad last year. But anyways, on my notes, she put depressive disorder, and I was just like, I thought we were friends. I'm just kidding. No, I had to put down the medication I was taking, and she was like, oh, so like you're depressed or something? And I was like, girl, yes. Have you seen the world, bitch? We all are. And no, but like yes, but yes. I was talking to the nurse that came in at first, and she was like, so what are you taking? And I was like, well, I take this and that. One's for anxiety as needed. And you know, you gotta put on like your white gal voice when you go in public. One's for anxiety as needed, and the other one is because I am I guess, clinically depressed. It is something I have to take, once a day, you know. And so she was like, oh, okay. And I was like, she was like, well, do you ever feel like, aside from your depression, do you ever feel like super depressed, like, super depressed? And I was like, I don't know if you looked around. Like, I got real with her and I was like, girl, I don't know if you looked around, but it's kind of fucked up outside. Like, when you look outside of your house, like, shit's kind of going down. And she was like, bitch, I know. And so then we had this moment, we had this exchange, and we were like, ah, to each other. It is so funny when you get into a confined space with somebody and they speak your language to an extent, or you speak their language. And so we were going back and forth. We were like, I don't know anybody who doesn't have a fucking therapist. And she was like, bitch, I know, right? And I was like, ah. And she was like, ah. And then we like composed ourselves. She's like, no, but like for real, like other than like the stuff, like, girl, are you like depressed? Like, no, I'm not, but like the world's kind of fucked. And she was like, girl, we're 10 days into 2025, bitch, this is getting bad. And I was like, I know, right? She was like, yeah. So we were both like, oh my god, in the world, give me a patch mirror right now. Like, oh my god, end of the world. Anyways, you need a pap, I'm ordering it, She's like, I'm so embarrassing. Oh god, I wish I could be a cool girl. I wish I could be a cool, beautiful, like a goddess figure. Like, you see these beautiful, glamorous Hollywood girlies or whatever, models and things of this nature. And they're quiet and they're picturesque and statuesque. And here I am. I have antlers in my hair. My contacts are red. My nose is pierced up the wazoo, out the wazoo. And I am making small talk about the apocalypse to the girl ordering my pap smear. Anyways, so but yeah, but like on the inside I'm like, I'm gonna be like this beautiful goddess and like that's quiet and commands respect and all these things. But then also I'm just like a fucking nerd. I'm just a fucking nerd. Anyway, so then I was talking to the doctor separately after the whole like pap smear or whatever. It was, like I said, efficient, effective, quick, and for the most part painless. And I was shocked. I was elated and shocked and confused. I was like, is that it? And she was like, yeah, you'll get your results in like 5 days. And I was like, oh, okay. But then we started talking about blood tests. And also she was talking about like libido and things of that nature. And so I was like, well, honestly, like aside from everything that happened in my past, I'm just kind of shut down. I don't really give a fuck about anything like sexual. I don't give a fuck about any of that. I personally am very up here. I'm very intellectual, and so it's very hard for me to be attracted to human beings. It's just very difficult. And when I am, it's very rare, and it's confusing because I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like I've spoken about this before. I have like a handful of humans on planet Earth that I'm like, would. You know what I mean? Like a handful of humans on this entire planet. I'm not attracted to people physically. It is more of a like intellectual thing. It is they get me, I get them, or I appreciate them. It's a very different thing. It's not like a thing. So anyways, I told her basically that the words were, fucked up when they come out of my mouth and not as intellectual as, You know what I mean? Like, you ever think something and you're like, I'm gonna say it and it's gonna come out correctly. And instead it's like, you think it and then it's like, ah! And you're like, oh, I'm gonna just fucking swan dive straight into traffic. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so it's more of an intellectual thing. So we started speaking, or something, I don't know. We started, me and the doctor were speaking about taking some blood tests, and she said that I have a blood test coming up on Monday. I guess that's what I'm getting to, is Monday I'll have to go back to my OBGYN and get a blood test taken to see how much testosterone I have in my body versus there is another, that the hormone or the chemical for processing testosterone, it's called like something, this, whatever. She's going to test the levels in my body to see if I need to like have hormone therapy to make me more attracted to humans. I don't know. I just honestly, I don't give a fuck about the hormone therapy. I am just insatiably curious. And so I was like, can we do a blood test? I would love to do that. But I had not eaten anything that day. And I know as soon as they put the little vial into my arm, the like vacuum, because it was early in the morning, I didn't eat anything. And then, yeah, whatever. And I was so hungry. So I knew as soon as I saw the blood, I would faint. I don't usually faint, but it's this, I could tell I was not in a good area for me to have quantities of blood taken out of my body. Like I knew. And also earlier, like I said, I was like very anemic. And so I don't know if I should allow my anemia to keep going so they could pick it up in the blood tests and maybe prescribe me some good iron or something. I don't know. She was like, but she told me to take prenatal. She was like, because, you know, she was always like, you know, they're like, well, just in case, you know, whatever. If you don't want to have a contraceptive or whatever, you should be taking something just in case it happens. And I'm like, I hate taking prenatal vitamins because they make your pee like bright yellow, because your body has to process vitamins that it is not always like in need of. And so a prenatal vitamin is just a fuck ton of vitamins shoved in there. And of course, not everybody is the same cookie cutter cut out body. We all have different bodies and different things. We all need different vitamins and different nutrients, and our body processes different vitamins and nutrients in different ways, right? Correct? To an extent. So I was telling her about something I saw. I think her name's Selena Spooky Boo. She had gone to this place where they do like a full body scan. It costs $2,500, and they have one in each major city. It's called like this name right here. I took a screenshot of it. And so it's a like a full body scan, and they're able to identify everything in your body that is wrong or right or this or that with you, right? And so it can help you figure out a lot of different things, like whether or not you can have certain foods or the shape of your uterus, and all kinds of things, your spine, your brain, all kinds of really fascinating things. And I've been thinking about getting one because I have smashed vertebrae behind my heart, and that's something else I wanted to talk about. But so she was like, oh, I know what you're talking about. My friend is a registered nurse in Dallas, and she said it cost her $7,000. I guess she didn't go to the one I'm talking about because it's only $2,500, which only that's a lot of money. But if you save up, it's important. It's important to get a scan done. So, anyways, we're gonna save up money and try to get a scan at least once a year for somebody in the family. You know what I mean? Like once a year, we'll get a scan for like me, and then next year my husband, and then next year my kids, and you know what I mean? Like we're gonna do that, something of that nature. It doesn't matter who goes first or whatever. But the most important thing is getting everybody scanned so we could figure out what's going on with our individual bodies. So you go to this place, you could go to their website, and then you could do just head and chest MRI scans or whatever. They have like scan, and it's just scanning your body and figuring out everything in your body. It's a full body scan. It is so important. It's just so important for you to have your health, because it life is not always going to be shit. It's not always going to be dog shit. Art is timeless. It's forever, and you're an artist. Everybody is to an extent. And the art we create and the things we channel and the beings that support us and the entities that maim us and the corporations that defile us and the heavenly places and spaces in between, you seeing somebody's eyes where you understand and they understand and you understand each other without ever speaking words. That is amazing, and that's worth living for. At least I felt it before. It's still here on this planet. I know it all too well. I know that there are people out there who one day I will see them in their eyes and they'll see me in my eyes, and it's like a non-communication. It's just a give and take of I understand you completely. And so it's important for you to be alive. Life will not always be dog shit. You shouldn't always listen to the bullshit, because just focus on what's right in front of you, right right in front of your nose, and work on slowly every day, brick by brick, building a life that you want to live, leading and living a life that you want to live, regardless of money or monetary shit, because that that changes hands. It doesn't, you should not live your life based solely upon chasing paper. It is stupid, it is dumb, it is pointless. Um, but if you create something from the soul, if you create art, if you do stupid shit to fill your time with happiness and love, you won't regret it. You won't regret being happy, laughing with your friends, almost pissing yourself at 3 o'clock in the morning because somebody made a stupid joke and you kept adding on to it, you know? Um, you'll be so grateful for that. Even if you lose your job the next day, you can still call up your friend and talk about that dumbass experience you had. And it feels like heaven to just have a companion on this planet in this time, you know? Especially someone who can understand you without you really having to say too many words. That is ecstasy in itself. Anyways, so we were speaking about how the RN in Dallas spent $7,000 and got a full body scan. Well, they ended up catching brain cancer. And she ended up going to this resort, this Hope Resort in Mexico, and did a bunch of ozone treatments and other things. And basically has it all cleared up. Brain cancer. And so that's what I'm saying. It is important for you to go and do things for your health. It's important for you to get a yearly women's check. I don't know what the equivalent for men's check is. A prostate? I don't know. I'm not, I don't have the bits and bobs of a dude. Don't know, but I probably should know because there's a bunch of boys in my family. And if I don't know, then they won't know. It's kind of how it goes around here. If I don't figure it out, then they are just blissfully unaware of everything in existence. It's kind of funny. It's kind of sad, kind of funny and silly. But yeah, so that was very interesting. It was very, very interesting. So I was like, well, no, there's one for $2,500. That's $7,000. She's like, oh, I really want to get one done. It's too expensive. I want to get one done, but I have to fly out to Dallas. And I said, no. There's one in Houston, right down the way. And there's multiple price points, so you can save up for this or save up for that, or do one now and do one later, or whatever. You know what I mean? And also, you can also shut the fuck up. You can contact your bank if you've had a bank for quite some time, and get a personal loan and then pay off like $50 a month to your bank to pay off the scan, the MRI scan or whatever. But I'm definitely gonna go do it. The way Selena Spooky Boo was talking about it, she found a lot of things wrong with her body, a lot of things that are reversible, but also she caught a lot of things just in time. What's important is that, I guess that goes into know thyself. You also have to know this, not just to know yourself, like your brain, your mind, your mentality, your nature versus nurture, and all these things. To know the Holy Ghost that's haunting your bones, know that, but then also know your body and how it works. Like for me, I'm very confused. I'm very, very anemic. I think that I have an intolerance to gluten, and I'm kind of certain that my son is lactose intolerant, but we're not exactly sure. When I was pregnant with my first son, I developed a lactose intolerance. I threw up, projected vomiting into the bathtub milk, like after I had milk. And I thought that was so strange because whenever I had my son, he was lactose intolerant. But then I wasn't anymore. So it's just so weird. Having children is so strange because they do affect your body. Sometimes it can be vampiric. Sometimes they steal your vitamins, and women, they'll lose their hair and their teeth. Their teeth will fall out because the child is like siphoning away. It's so scary. Ew. Like, it's a scary thing to have a baby inside of you growing and like moving your stomach, and it looks scary and it feels scary. And then you're very, very worried about the world. You're very worried about it getting hurt, it dying, and all these things. We live in a very strange time. Life is peculiar, and I am strange. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna go. Oh, one last thing. I was at a metaphysical shop. I bought my son the Stranger Things tarot deck and some oils. A different metaphysical shop than when I got this ring at. I was snooping around, and I overheard a girl talking about her back surgery she just went through, and she said that she got this kind of, it's a type of plastic where they go into your smashed vertebrae, they put a balloon, they blow it up, and they insert cement into it. And so she was speaking that they were supposed to do that to me, but they did not. Instead, they burned my nerves off. But your nerves find a way; they grow back faster if you take certain supplements. There's certain kinds of mushrooms that help your nerves grow faster, so you have to be careful. I think it's lion's mane. I don't know. Anyways, don't quote me. Don't quote me because I'm a liar. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so she was speaking that, and I said, I'm so sorry not to interrupt, but she's speaking very publicly about it. I was like, hi, can you tell me about your experience with that surgery? Because I was supposed to go through that. I was so scared. Nobody had gone through that, whatever. And she's like, yeah, of course. So she came up to me. She's actually a medium that works at the store. She came up to me and she was like, come here, put your hand on my spine. And so she had me run my fingers down her spine. And she was like, can you feel that? And I was like, yeah. And there's like a piece sticking out. And I guess it's where the concrete had solidified, but it like came out a little. So she's got like a piece of concrete sticking out of one of her spine, her vertebrae. And that's just so peculiar. And I was like, well, I was supposed to get that done. I have smashed vertebrae behind my heart. I have a broken heart. And, and, you know, it scares me because I don't want to fucking, you know, when I was younger, I skateboarded a lot, I surfed, took a lot of fucking dives off a skateboard, off a surfboard, into sandbars, into the concrete, into the asphalt, had a couple of concussions. I hit my head so hard, my tongue started ringing and went numb, and I was like, had a couple of really bad concussions, but other than that, I get nervous about doing these things again because my vertebrae are still smashed, and I don't want to kill myself on accident. You know what I mean? Like, as you get older, you stop thinking so much. Like, we've been rewatching episodes of Jackass, and as you get older, you start going, I don't know if I want to top Johnny not Nixville. I know Nixville, Jonathan Nixville. Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O, like, I don't think but all of those years of like doing jackass stunts, like diving into bushes and jumping out of shopping carts, they catch up with you really quick. Yeah, my generation was kind of like the generation that grew up on Jackass. So we all have done Jackass stuff. We've all like done shit from the show, like my husband jumped off of his roof with a skateboard and put his knee through a fucking windshield one time, and all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean? So anyway, so she had me rub my fingers down her spine, and she showed me where the concrete was sticking out, where it didn't cure all the way. It's just to wear a back brace, and it helps, but it hurts as well. And so it did help her to an extent, but it does hurt her, and it is uncomfortable, and she can feel it. So I don't know what to do. That's kind of a strange, it's kind of a strange conundrum to be like, well, do I want to go get back surgery? I'm 32, but I mean, my fucking spine's smashed. I don't know, like my spine is smashed, and so I don't know what to do. It's confusing, but so I think whenever I save up enough money and I go get how do you say, I'm gonna take my hair down so I could go get my hair ready to dye it. Whenever I get enough money to go get the like MRI done on a full body scan at that place, then I think I'll start considering back surgery or other options, because they could always just go back and burn my nerves again. But and that worked it was an insta heal. No, I'm just kidding. They burned my nerves off, and then the numbing, my fingers were numb for a very long time. My fingers were numb, and I have a twitch that I have to do every once in a while, and I look like a fucking marionette when I do it. Don't judge me. I look like a marionette. I'm trying to like take this there's a rubber band in my hair and it won't come out. I look like a marionette whenever I do it, and so now I look like a jellyfish. I look like a marionette whenever I do it, and so it's funny. Where is it? Oh my god, get the fuck out of here. This town ain't big enough for the two of us. Ah. Anyways. I'm gonna go. But yeah. So I met a girl. Mad Hatter hair. I met a girl and she was like, the her spine. She had the procedure, and it allowed me to kind of sit there and ponder on like what could have been, what was, and what was not. Like with the procedure I had versus the procedure I was supposed to have. And I'm kind of grateful I don't have like cement sticking out of my spine, because that'd be very scary. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, but also like the body will start rejecting certain things, and so that's scary too. And I have a spoiled blood, so it's a. I feel like my body's more likely to reject surgical shit, um, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know money. Bitch. I got some problems. Anyways, I'm gonna see you guys later. I'm gonna go fuck around with some more antlers. Look, I have blood on this one because I cut myself making it. So there's some of my blood's on this one. They're not for anybody. They're for me. So they can have my blood on them if they want them. If they want to. Yeah, these are fun. That's a nice sound, right? And they're actually very, very sturdy. These are. Dude, they're so sturdy. That's what I was saying. Like, self-defense. I'm just like, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, these are very, very nice. Very sturdy. I like them a lot. And it would be very hard for these to break, which is interesting because I have another hair pick made out of bone that was so brittle that it broke as soon as I dropped it. But these are good. Antlers, man. Antlers are where it's at. I love antlers. They're so fucking pretty. But whenever you go to burn them or whenever you go to shave them and grind them, they stink. They stink very bad. Wear a respirator because they stink very bad. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.